Hello my foodies. Today I'm preparing a quinoa and chickpeas croquette. Let's talk about our ingredients here that we have today that we're going to work with. Some nice wild mushrooms. I just roasted off with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and a bit of thyme. Okay, so this is what I have first ingredient. Secondly, I have here is some roasted butternut squash and some sun-dried tomatoes that I just kind of chopped up here. Next, I have some caramelized apples that I caramelized in honey and a bit of salt, and I just olive oil, and there you go. Over here I have a bit of green onions and some cilantro. So all these ingredients is going to put inside of it. Oh, the main star of the show, we have some cooked quinoa. Straight, just some, it's just some olive oil, salt, pepper, and I just cooked it slowly on the stove top. Quinoa, with the white quinoa. Next, I have some canned chickpeas. And all the stuff I'm using here is some diced tomato, okay? This and this that you see I didn't tell you about yet is some butternut squash and some watercress and just some cherry tomatoes. What I'm gonna do with this here is to garnish the plate with it, okay? So I'm just gonna put these one side till I'm ready for it. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually get into buzzing all these up together in my blender or your food processor, depends on what you have. Okay, all right. So a couple of things is our cans. Make sure when you buy your cans, you wipe it off with a clean cloth. Because this can, they're packed in stores and all kind of germs line it. So make sure you clean them off before you actually open it. So I'm gonna open this can here right now, and then I'm gonna drain the water and I'm gonna wash it. So I open it, I washed it, drain it from all the liquid in there because it was a brine solution. So it has a little bit of salt to it. Okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put all the ingredients into one big bowl that I want to put into my food processor. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit of chickpeas and I'll put here. The reason why I'm doing that is just a garnish. And anything you can put it in, not necessarily there, anywhere you want to put it. Okay? Now I have my chickpeas here. Second thing is, when we open cans, I usually practice putting the lid inside here and then just squeeze it like this. Safety tip. Okay? So next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna put some, put our mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes, and our butternut squash, our apples. There, some people know it as coriander, some know it as cilantro. So we put that in there. We'll call it there the green onions or scallion, right? So we put them in there. So here's our mixture that I'm gonna move over to my processor, my food processor, and get it where it's into a more better grind so I can form what I need to form with it, okay? Now we're gonna process it. And we just don't want to turn it into puree. What we want to do is just kind of break it down so it can turn into a chunky looking. Okay? So we're gonna use a veg stock inside. So what I'm gonna do, as I put it, as you said, put it here, and I don't want you to, I tell you to use some of it, a little bit of veg stock. I don't want you to get too crazy with it. I still want to leave some texture. I have my mixture here. So this is what it should look like. Then I'm gonna add my quinoa to this here now. Quinoa mixed well, right? You're gonna make sure it's in there. So I just want to get a little bit of a sense of what it is, right? So you're going to taste. Very good. It needs a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And that's what I'm gonna do. I use a little bit of salt, okay? So it's just a little, because this is almost like it's so pureed. You gotta make sure that you mix it in properly. You could use your hands if you want, especially when you're doing it for your family. No big deal, as long as your hands are clean. Short fingernails, please. Okay? No long fingernails in there, then get under your nails and you know the rest. We're gonna form this. We could form this in a patty, we could form this in a cake, we could form this in any, but we're gonna do some croquettes. I'm gonna show you how I wanna form it. Two same type of spoons here. So what we're gonna do, because I wanna put these in the oven, I don't wanna deep fry it. A little bit of olive oil in the bottom, all right? 2 spoons, and basically what you're doing, you're going back and forth with it like that to create a shape. Now, you could use an ice cream scoop too and scoop them out, or you could use your hands and form a nice little ball into it. But I like doing it with a spoon. This would be a great burger. You can make a great burger out here, a nice 6-ounce burger out of this. It will work, right? This is what it looks like before it gets into the oven for about 5 minutes. Just want to kind of dry out some of that moisture, right? Good, it's perfect. We have our diced tomatoes here that I showed you earlier. And what we're gonna do here now, we're just gonna bottle it up with a little bit of our olive oil. That's all. Get a little bit of oil in there. What I'm gonna do is gonna do the plating now. So my cold tomato sauce. Place these here. I had my squash that I showed you earlier today. I'm just gonna put a couple of pieces on there. Okay. Then the chickpeas that I saved earlier. I had this earlier, I showed you earlier. Okay. Then I have my watercress. I have some tomatoes. It's lovely olive oil. Then just a little bit in the spoon on the plate. So let's give it a nice olive oil flavor taste. Now we're at the best part of this dish, the tasting. I'm pretty excited about this part. So every time I taste a dish like this, I enjoy it a lot. It's all the flavors from the mushrooms, the apples, the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes, the roasted butternut squash, the bitterness from the watercress, all blend in well. It's a master bite I'm looking for. If you enjoy this dish, please subscribe. Thank you.